Race number 3 is the first leg of the first double trio. 1,600 metres is the trip. It's a Class 4 contest headed by Great Treasure, Amelie and Keith Young combined. A two-time winner, but over the 1,400 metres. Everlaugh, course and distance, first time for him. Star of Hong Kong, they take the blinkers off as he tackles the mile for the first time. Destin gets a wide draw, as does Glenelg Prize. Triumphant Light off the inside, likes to roll forward as well. And down to Indigenous Star, who was third behind More Than Lucky last time out. Comes up with a better draw this time round too. Yeah, it's an interesting speed map. We've gone with sort of 3 disputing it, but I can see Triumphant Light getting away from gate 1 and getting into good position, then trying to dictate things, albeit at a relatively pedestrian pace. Viva Council's been prominent a couple of times on the all-weather, but his racing on the turf hasn't been quite so good. And the show, you just don't know what you're going to get from him. So it's a speed map with 1 or 2 ifs and buts.
Yeah, I had a couple of question marks there as well, this one. Everlaugh, now, he missed the start last time from a wide barrier draw, got back and was very eye-catching in his run. He steps up to 1,600 metres. He's had plenty of work for a 1,600 metre race. You can see this piece here is doing it really nicely. Should suit him, being by Savabeel out of a command mare. Master Benini had a really tough run last time, but ran really well, and you can see he's taken no ill effects from that. Chad Schofield, who'll partner him on Saturday, he's going nicely enough here as well. And as you said, Triumphant Light, nice workout from him. He was really pushed out, and he's coming in this race at big odds. But if he does dictate in front, I reckon he can run a cheeky race as well. So Triumphant Light there.
He's drawn perfectly to do that, isn't he? That's barrier 1 for him. Let's start off though with Everlaugh, the horse we started track work with. Paul, you said missed the kick. Got a bit crowded up, didn't he? And just had to drop in from a wide gate, but finished off strongly. Yeah, you can see him down the outside. And the best part of this run was the last 200 metres here. He just really hits the line really strongly. The winner's gone on and won again. And I think it's a really good run from him. Oh, CP Power, so he didn't win again, but he did run really nicely again, I should say. And I just really like the way he hit the line. I'm going to make him the best because I think 1,600 will really suit this horse. Yeah, he was the only horse closing off in what was essentially a front-runner's race. You've always got to prick your ears up when you see that. Yeah. All right. Master Benini, you would have caught a few eyes, though, last time out. Another one, well, we pick it up. He's sort of on the leader's shoulder, but he had to work a little bit to get there, but stuck on. Well, he made a sort of a mid-race move in this race as well. He was posted the whole way. Nothing went right from him in the run at all. This was over the 1,400 metres. He's up to a mile. I remember we did an interview with Michael Friedman a couple of Racing to Wins ago about this fella, and he seemed rather positive about him, and I can kind of see why. He's improved since he's been here. Some of his early barrier trials weren't that good, but he's got better. As I say, he was unlucky here, and I think the 1,600 will suit him. He's been quite well beaten here, but he was very unlucky in the run, so I think he's definitely a chance. Yeah, he's definitely had excuses, didn't he? I've found a spot for him as well. I think he can run again. Just barrier 8 again, it just might be a little bit tricky, but 1,600 metres stepping up probably suits him. Yeah, you've got that long run down the back straight, haven't you, to get yourself sorted out. Indigenous Star moves in from barrier 11 to barrier 3, finished off quite nicely behind the runaway winner, as it turned out, in More Than Lucky. Yeah, 1,600 metres for him as well. More Than Lucky looks like he's very progressive at the moment. He's got a good draw here, barrier 3. He can get in behind that pace that John showed you on the speed map. I think he can be in the finish here. You probably have to take a little bit of unders with Joe Moreira riding him, but I still think he can finish in the finish, and I've got a finish in the finish. Yep. That's good, isn't it? Hopefully. And I've got him in the numbers. Yeah, I think he's definitely one to side with. I'm going to put him on top because I think he's going to get a nice run in the race. All right, you've already played your hand here, Paul. Best bet? Yeah, Everlaugh. You may laugh, but Everlaugh on top. I just really like the 1,400 metre run. I think he can win over 1,600 metres. Triumphant Light, he's going to add some value, I think, to the exotics because he can get a nice run on the pace. Master Benini, just from barrier 8, needs to slot in, but can run well in Indigenous Star, who will probably start favourite. I think I know Everlaugh's favourite at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised. Indigenous Star does start favourite, especially if Joe Moreira wins a couple of those earlier races. 3, 11, 10 and 14, and I'd be backing the 3 to win. I think we'll get $4, $4.20 or something. You can shuffle up the same 4 numbers with me. They land in a slightly different way. I'm going to go with Indigenous Star on top, so I think he'll get a good run. Triumphant Light is interesting. That race that we saw when he was a long way beaten by More Than Lucky, they went at a terrific pace up front. It was an incredible performance by More Than Lucky to actually win. And this Triumphant Light, he's really struggled getting good gates of late as well. But I think this race on Saturday afternoon will work out totally different. I think he'll get a nice, softish lead, and I think he's going to be tough to overhaul. And he's a pretty consistent horse when things go his way. Master Benini, I think, is progressive. And Everlaugh, I'm not quite as keen as Paul, but I can entirely see where he's coming from. But I think the best bet in this race is hopefully Triumphant Light at that sort of a price each way. Only difference for me is hit a home run. I thought he's been pretty consistent. Good draw as well for Matthew Poon.